Good morning. This is the Blaine's World podcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you name it, you'll find us there. We're also on Spotify and a lot of other places where your favorite podcasts are located. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield. I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. Each week we focus on positive news and information about people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce a good friend of mine, and he is Aaron Ybarra. And Aaron, you can wave to all you fans. You beat me to it who are watching this. And Aaron is perhaps one of the most active actors in the area, but we're going to be talking to him about the fact that in his upcoming production, he's not acting, he's not directing, but he actually wrote a play, I understand, that we're going to see.
I did, yes. I will be writing. I have a play known as Nice Dress, and it's going to be in Group B of the Magnetic Theater's One-Act Play Festival.
Okay.
Super excited.
You should be. And we should mention, by the way, if folks are listening, this is an exciting event that Magnetic Theater does every year. I think it's the third annual. And this year it's going to be November 4th to the 6th. So it's this coming weekend. Also, November 11th to the 13th. You have a chance. You have at least a couple of chances to see both Group A and Group B. And each section, I guess, has a couple of different, a bunch of different plays. I have about 10 different plays in each one, something like that.
Yes, from my understanding, there are out of, I think it was like 2,000 people, 2,000 plays. They selected 10 plays for each session, and so each night will have 10 plays, or each group will have 10 plays in it.
And the key thing is people can't blink, right? Because if they do, they'll miss one of these plays. I mean, they're typically short plays. Is that correct?
Exactly. I believe somewhere between the realm of 5 and 15 minutes is what they wanted. Short and sweet.
And talk about your play, Aaron, in that, as you know, I'm a big fan of yours, and I've been impressed over the years with your acting. But this is the first play I guess I've ever seen you write, even though you tell me off there, you've written some other plays. Is that correct?
I have, yes. So I actually graduated with a BFA in creative writing. But my first play that I ever, full play that I ever wrote was a play called Into the Word. It was one of those summer school type of deals where they were like, oh, let's write some skits. It's going to be a play. We'll have some fun. And I was like, no, we got to go all the way. And my dad came in and brought in some of his friends, and it was a full-on musical. And I was just really, really blessed and overwhelmed and humbled by that whole process of seeing it going from just like, yeah, let's do it, to seeing it in front of a large audience.
How long was that play?
It was probably about an hour, 45, probably about 45 minutes. They split it up into about 15-minute segments for that weekend. So yeah, I'd say about 15 minutes per. And so they got a little slip and a little bit, and then a little bit more until they saw the play in its entirety.
How old were you when you wrote it?
I wrote that when I was in, I think it's 2016. So whatever age that was.
Okay. Let's see, 6 years ago.
Math is, so that would be what, 31, about 31, 32.
Okay, really? Wow. So
yeah.
After you wrote that play, did you write anything after that?
Yes. I've actually had the privilege of writing a couple of shorts, co-writing. There was one that got featured recently. The Mason and Tabitha McDonald, who are now over in New Mexico. They had a horror film fest, and my friend Laura Mae Stacy, now Laura Mae Cuellar, and I wrote a play called Crispy, which was a horror film that was about 5 minutes. I like my short plays about a couple arguing vociferously and violently about the preparation of bacon.
Okay. Now, is that on YouTube?
It's on Amazon Prime,
Okay. Oh, really?
which is really, really cool. Yeah, so if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. You should be able to watch it for
Wait, let me
free.
put that down. What's the name of it?
Crispy,
Crispy.
crispy.
Wow. So on Amazon Prime, I got it down. Amazon Prime. What else? So after that, anything else?
Um, I had the chance. I had the chance to write a lot of music, uh, which has been really, really cool. When we did Midsummer, um, Midsummer Night's Dream,
Right, right.
and with I was talking with Hannah, and we're like, what if we add this song and this song? And I just started going, and then I started working with some of the other performers as well. Like, all right, what do we want this song to look like? So it turned into, we got 3 or 4 original songs, and then a couple covers, and then one Shakespeare with a Bowie spin, which was really, really fun. The chance to do Shakespeare, approach Shakespeare, because we did that this year
Right.
with As You Like It, talking with Mandy and Rebecca, of going a more traditional route, which was really, really cool. Because, and then also Rebecca had a ukulele, so writing for specifically for the ukulele was really,
And
really fun.
that's one of the things I always enjoy seeing stuff at Magnetic, because even whatever the show is, you're going to also see some music oftentimes. And oftentimes I've gotten a kick out of, you'll be involved in the music. You'll be strumming along, or that was the one, Midsummer was the one you were singing along in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I'm really, really grateful for a lot of, like, Montfort has been absolutely amazing. Magnetic has been absolutely, and that's why I'm here. Is It was really, really cool, because I was working on some stuff earlier this year, and about the same time that I finished my first draft of Nice Dress, is when Katie and Jess opened up submissions for this one act play festival, and that was about, March. Um, so you just
Perfect
send it
timing.
out and into the world, and then you just kind of leave it. And then they were ever so kind enough to pick it up, and to see people get attached to it that you love, it makes my heart really, really happy.
Now, Aaron, I know you, of course, as a performer, and now, some of the music work. Have you done any directing?
I have not yet. I am I'm fascinated by it. Hannah again was talking about, like, how directors enjoy the process, and I was like, don't tell me that, Hannah. Because I love working with being seeing things develop. We're doing it right after. So after this one act, we're going to back to Pemberley, hence these fashionable locks. And then after that is the Wickhams. And a lot of what I'm doing is just hanging out with some really, really, really wonderful, talented people, because you just want to be in the room with these people. You just want, it's the same with the Winx, same with Pemberley, same with Wickhams. You just want to be in the room.
It's funny, I asked you that question, and sometimes I get an interesting response. And oftentimes actors who become directors, oftentimes they'll tell me they prefer directing, but if you probe a little bit, you find out the real truth is they don't have to memorize the script, so but that's not a problem for you. You're pretty good at memorizing script.
I try. Yeah, I have a lot of different methods. Luckily at work, they're pretty they've been pretty kind, as far as I work in an assembly line. And so I'll just be in my zone working, running the scripts and whatever script it is. And that's been absolutely essential. So I can and then they'll ask about, like, hey, what are you doing now? And, like, I was like walking down when we just got done with Hamlet. And I was walking down through work, and somebody was like, Horatio, and I'm like, what? I saw the Saturday show.
Oh,
And
cool.
that's so cool. I think that's the cool thing about local theater, is you do have the you see people around, and they get to interact with you, like, even like with everything that we do with live theater. It's very, the line is very thin. We want, especially when you have an audience that is alive and speaking back, you feed that. You feed that energy. Hamlet was a great example, just receiving so much from the audience. We ran a few weeks back, a few months now, the Magnetic was running a workshop for the Classroom Ain't Enough, which we hope to see next year. We're working out the play schedules and all that for Magnetic right now, but to see that, like, the reaction from the audience, from a couple of key audience members, you just felt like, oh, we're going to church. It was great.
I want to give you a compliment on that point, Aaron, in terms of when I saw recently Frankenstein rubrics, at
Yes.
Magnetic, and you laugh, but all of a sudden, and it was cool. They set up the stage. You could sit on the stage if you wanted to. So naturally,
Yes.
you sat on the stage.
Oh,
You're
you
the
know
only one there. And all of a sudden, I love the cast and a lot of fine actors in it. But all of a sudden, you're into it also, and you were really into it. And, playing soccer and really it looked like you had a lot of fun being involved in it.
I love that so much. Yeah, when somebody's like, "Hey, you should sit there," and
Yeah.
yes, bring it on. Yeah, like Frankenstein Rubik's was great for that, and the devised play with with the cups. I can't think of that right now. But it was another magnetic show. It's going to strike me of structure.
Okay. Yeah.
It was which was another great one. Like, you walk in and immediately you're interacting with the people, and I love that. I was just at the Renaissance Fair this weekend, and that's like the it of all it's as far as audience interaction. That's your bread and butter, is interacting with the audience and making them come alive, because right next to you, you've got someone else doing their show.
Cool.
Or whatnot.
And let's talk then about your upcoming show. So the upcoming is going to be this weekend, next weekend. Name of it again is what?
Nice Dress.
Okay. And without giving away the show, I guess, can you give kind of the Reader's Digest version of what the show is about?
Yes, I would be glad to. So it involves a couple, Aiden and Kat. Zach will be joining us next week. There's some complications there, but Aiden and Emily Tucker. And the character Aiden is a non-binary individual and wants to go out in their first dress, and is nervous about it, and Kat's like, "You should go, we should do it." And then he's like, "All right, or they're like, "All right, let's do it." And so they go out and they meet some wonderful individuals along the way, and it goes great. It goes really, really well. And so and it's just a wonderful play about communication, about self-expression, about a love within relationships, and the various forms that takes. So I was so over the top to be able to tell my little 5-minute story.
I mean, that's pretty cool. In 5 minutes, get all that stuff in there. And talk a little bit about, she mentioned 2 of the performers. Tell the rest of the cast then. I don't know if you mentioned all the names again.
So there is Zach Hamrick and Emily Tucker and Nikila, who I met in the Classroom Ain't Enough, and she is amazing. And then I believe it is Adam Olson, and I am so apologetic because it might be Evan, and but I believe it's Adam. And they were both in
Frankenstein.
Yes.
No, they were another play. What was the play?
Beautiful Cages. Beautiful Cages.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yes. So, but both of them are in the 1X. So you get to see both of them rocking it once again, because we like to hang out with one another in this wonderful world.
And talk about Aaron, in terms of the casting. Did you cast it or did Katie cast it?
I did not. I had very little influence, or I intentionally stayed away from the process. There's been a couple moments where I've been checked in, got asked a couple questions. When I knew there was a couple questions arising, I just check in and be like, hey. But other than that, it's the goal of this, my heart's core for this show is that it would be done over and over and over again, with different people and different mixes and all things, and because that brings so many different varieties to it. And as long as people are being genuine and having a great time, I'm like, go for it, do it. So yeah, like I've been like giving them a lot of freedom. Like, I'm going to come this weekend and next, just as a fan, as an audience member, and but I just get that special connection with them, because we've created something together, and so it's really cool. I had a little bit of communication, but a lot of just have at it.
And can we give a shout out? Also, there's a director that I think some people know or know who she is. Who's the director of this play?
Katie Jones, the
Okay.
one, the only. Yes. Yeah, Katie is, I'm so excited to see what she's done. I've worked with her before in a directorial role, obviously one of the co-heads of the Magnetic. So it's just to be the fact that she continually invites me into her family, wants me to be here, and that we've had some really good chats. It has meant a lot to me. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing her work again. So bring it on, Katie.
The amazing thing about Katie is that she's also not only a terrific director, she's also a terrific actor, but I don't get to see her enough. I love watching her act. She's just a very talented individual. And so just kind of recap of what's coming up. The one act plays at the Magnetic Theater, as mentioned, November 4th to 6th, 11th to the 13th. You get to see, you have, I guess, 4 or 5 different times to see your play. Hopefully it'll win the best of.
Yes, it should be 4, yes, at the very least.
Okay. And again, I won't go through the whole list, but Katie Jones and Jessica at the Magnetic have just put together this tremendous list of local actors and directors, and I won't go through all of them, but they're like 40 different people.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're going to enjoy it. That's guaranteed. And in terms of enjoying stuff, Aaron, let's talk a little bit about then what's coming up for you. So you alluded to it before, but after the One Act Festival, you're helping out now with what shows coming back, you were telling me?
Miss Bennet Christmas at Pemberley is written by Lauren Gunderson, who is a phenomenal playwright. Just everything that she touches, I am just over the moon with. But yes, the plan is going to be it's going to be directed by, once again, by Jason Williams. And that is going to be the weekend of Thanksgiving. I believe that 26th, that weekend, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is when I believe it goes live. And it's going to be cool to bring so much of that cast back this year. Like, the audiences were so amazing. Everybody, oh my goodness, everybody.
Well, you explained to me, though, too, there are 2 parts to it. So you're doing the original, and then what else?
So what's going on upstairs is, in Pemberley, there's a whole narrative, and for those that saw it last year, they know. It's kind of a spinoff of Pride and Prejudice. So if you like Pride and Prejudice, that's where it's at. So there's all this stuff going on upstairs, but downstairs there's a thing called the Wickhams, and that is what is going to be running in December. Bandy Bean is going to be directing a 2-week show of the Wickhams, and that's got some really wonderful people. A lot of carryovers. The Darcys will be carrying over. The Wickhams will be carrying over, and so both are really, really great, really, really fun, different vibes. And I can't wait to see it all come
And that'll
together.
be at the I guess it will that again be at the same place it was at BB?
At the BB Theater is the plan,
Okay.
yes.
And just if folks want to look for it, they can just look online. It'll probably be on the entertainment page, a whole bunch of other places. But they're in for a treat. And the first show you're just doing for that one weekend, will you be in that one, or somebody else will
Yes,
take your role?
I will be returning as Arthur de Berg.
Okay.
I'm a cousin of Darcy's, a distant cousin. And so I'm extremely grateful to return.
I have to tell you, in large part because you were in it, I wanted to see it, but I was really delighted by it. Sometimes you go to a show, with big expectations. I have to tell you up front, I didn't have, you told me it was going to be great, so I took your word for it, and I just loved it. It was just such a delightful show, and you just looked like you had a lot of fun with it, your particular role.
It's Arthur is hopeless, but but we love him. But yeah, it's been really cool, and it's going to be it's the first time I'm going to be able to come back to a role, and that's cool too. Especially, I don't think any of us were coming back to it the same, because as performers we grow and we develop and we have experiences. But also with the Wickhams, now we know now that the Darcys and Lydia know what's going on upstairs, or know what's going on downstairs at the same time. That should color the performance as well. So it's going to be really cool to see how that goes.
Are there different people in the downstairs?
Yes. So the Zach, Hani, Lauren are continuing on their roles.
Great.
And then, but we're also be joined by Alex as Mr. Darcy, Mr. Wickham, and also Gabby Bailey.
Okay, great.
Desmond and Dana. Dana is also joining us. So it's gonna be some it's gonna be really cool. I just love watching them work. They are amazing.
And let's talk about people finding it, so they can look on Facebook, they go on entertainment page, Instagram, there'll be a whole bunch of places. I guess they can also check your page. You'll post information on it as well.
Yes, I try to keep pretty vociferous about the goings on around there.
So folks can look forward to that. And I know you're just going into, or coming up will be audition season. Can you share anything that's coming up in the spring or is it public knowledge?
Yes. So right now, the Happy Land is auditioning right now, and so that is looking promising. Just to see where that goes. Montfort is doing doing their pirate season, so that's going to be great. I'm gonna have a lot of, possibly another Gunderson, but also a play written by Will Storrs,
Okay.
in Murderland. It's going to be really exciting.
Is Montfort doing that?
They are. This is going to be
exciting.
a Halloween play, and then they are let's see, there's a one act. There's a couple of shows at Heart as well. This was my first year being at Heart, and it was a cool experience with the Book of Will.
Oh yeah, very cool experience. Yeah.
Oh, I loved that. It was so great.
Well, anyway, I'll encourage folks to see any of the shows that Aaron mentioned, and if he's in it, you're certainly in for a treat. One of the I think one of my favorite local actors, certainly one of the most enthusiastic local actors. And I'll mention to folks that the one thing you taught me tonight, or mentioned, is if you want to see another thing that Aaron was involved in, look for Crispy.
Yes.
I can't believe it's on Amazon Prime. And so this is a short film you did, and they can see it.
Yes, yeah. You should be able to just go on Amazon and type in Crispy, and if you got Prime, I believe you should be able to watch it for free.
Okay, how cool is that? Anyway, Aaron Ybarra, as always, a pleasure speaking to you. I look forward to not only speaking to you, seeing you in person, and a whole bunch of these things you mentioned. So something to look forward to, my friend. Speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, great.